Nothing brings back fantastic childhood memories quite like big, red, juicy cherries. I always remember when Mum would bring the first bag of the season home. Forget ice cream, forget lollies. There was no greater treat than big, red cherries. Tonight, I'm on a special pilgrimage to reconnect with my childhood passion for cherries. Tonight, unlocking the secrets of healthy soil. Something capable of breathing life into soil across the country. The secret life of bees.
Bees make us very
happy. And an amazing new garden bed fit for a revolution.
Hey, Costa, the water's coming.
That means that our design's working. Young is on the southwest slopes of New South Wales, just 375 kilometres west of Sydney. It's an area renowned for its stone fruit, in particular, the mighty cherry. Every year, thousands of cherry fanatics flock to Young for its National Cherry Festival. These people are as mad about cherries as I am.
Welcome to the Young Cherry Festival.
It's a three-day celebration of this fabulous fruit that has brought opportunity and good fortune to many, including the Hamden family. So, Kadar, where are you from initially and what brought you to Australia?
I'm Lebanese, from Lebanon. We met my wife in my country. We married there and we stayed about 2 years every day. Then we moved to Australia. I moved to the country.
How do you feel when you're walking amongst your orchard?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a king.
Young provides the perfect growing conditions for cherries, with great soil and an ideal climate. And Kadar currently has over 10 varieties growing amongst his 2,000 trees. What's your favourite?
Some best to be the best.
There's so many varieties of cherries available here in Young, but I've picked out 3 to share with you. The first one is the Van. It's an early season variety and it's renowned for its crispiness. It's almost like an apple when you bite it. And a real explosion of flavour, sweet as. Second one, this is Kadar's favourite. That's called the Sunburst. He loves it, and I agree. Look at it, it's your classic image of a cherry. If I was looking for a cherry, it's big, it's round, it's colourful, and it too, great flavour, a little bit softer than the Van. Beautiful, beautiful velvety taste. My friend here, the Ron, signature cherry of Young. It really put the place on the map as far as cherries are concerned. Black, rich, lush, they're beautiful. And this is just 3 of the varieties. I love cherries. Cherries are considered to be a superfruit high in antioxidants and are widely believed to be effective in helping prevent cancer, heart disease and strokes. Kadar, I've come from the city. I'm excited. There's a lot of cherries. Is there a technique for taking them?
It's only way to pick the cherries. It's to get the cherry of the trees. It's like that. With the cherries with the stem.
You hear the click. I like that. I like that click sound. It's like. Each of Kadar's trees produces an amazing 30 kilos of cherries every year, which is why to Kadar, each tree here is special. So you know each tree?
Each trees we planted, we know like how we grafted, when we grafted, and how they grow, why the branches go that side or that side. That's beautiful life. Yeah, I'm worried about them like my kids.
You got a lot of kids here.
Yeah.
Like we've just seen at the Hamdens, Young has provided a life of opportunity for many new arrivals. In fact, that's how cherries first came to the area. Nikolai Jasperza moved here from Austria and became the first commercial cherry grower in the region. And amazingly, Nikolai's great-great-granddaughter, Anna Hay, still grows cherries in the region.
So you got Austrian blood?
Yeah, 150 years ago. So I'm 5th generation. If our granddaughters or our grandchildren have an interest in the cherry business and become cherry orchards, they'll be 7th generation cherry growers.
That makes you cherry royalty.
Well, you could say that, Costa. Thank you.
I'm not worthy.
Oh.
Anna and Ian Hay have been running Cherry Haven orchards for 35 years. Ian, why do cherries do so well in Young?
There's two things mainly, but one of them is, I'll show you, Costa. These soils, these ancient soils are millions of years old, these decomposed granites.
And crusty.
Yeah, but they're very well drained. Yeah, the fine hair roots drown if they stay wet for long periods, and it'll kill the tree. So they have to be in well-drained soils. And the second reason is the climate. Here in Young, we have, in the wintertime, high chill hours to make the trees go into full dormancy. And then in the spring, you have dry springs like we're having now, which means you don't get rain damage on the cherries. And then in the summertime, we have to have heat to make sure the tree finishes and hardens everything up before it goes back to sleep in the high chill winter.
Cherries are members of the Prunus genus, making them relatives of stone fruits such as plums, apricots and peaches. They originated in Asia Minor, and it's believed they were first cultivated by the Greeks, which probably explains why I've been so passionate about them. Is Young truly the cherry capital of Australia?
Oh yes, definitely. Even though we've been through 7 years of very hard drought, we're still the cherry capital of Australia, and always will be.
After the break, how to grow cherries at home. Now, you don't need to have an orchard in rural Australia to grow these little beauties at your place. And we uncover the perfect compost. This machine could produce 20,000 tonnes of golden humus. If this was your cherry tree at home, there's just a few important tasks that you need to do over the season to keep it happy and producing beautiful cherries. First of all, every 2 years, you need to prune it down so that you're not wasting energy right up high. 2.2 metres is about your maximum height. Any suckers that are coming out of the base, nip those off so they're not taking any energy away from your plant as well. Mulch it, keep the moisture in and keep the plant happy. Now, it's important that these get fed before the growing season. So it's like filling up the pantry. So you fertilise them in winter so that at the onset of the fruit, the food's there ready to pump out beautiful cherries. And finally, they need to drink. Irrigation-wise, they need their main water over spring and summer. That's done by a simple drip irrigation system. The best thing about the drip irrigation system is it puts the water right where it needs to be, at the tree. To fruit successfully, cherries really do need the right conditions. In fact, they are considered a difficult plant to grow. But the good news is you can adopt these general principles of tree pruning and feeding to most backyard fruit trees. Or alternatively, you could grow an ornamental, non-fruiting cherry as a feature tree. Not far down the road from Cherry Central is the 1,400-hectare family farm of Bill and Rhonda Daly. And like our cherry growing friends, these two know the importance of good soil. So much so, they've dedicated their lives to it.
Soils are alive, they're meant to be teeming with millions of microbes, and that's something that conventional agriculture is neglected to recognise that there is life in the soil.
Bill's family have worked this land as a mixed farm for over 100 years, but 8 years ago, they realised that years of conventional chemical-driven farming was strangling the life out of the soil.
Hey, Costa, you know, this is what our soils looked like before we started biological farming. They were tight and compacted.
Yeah.
Do you want to live in there? Could you breathe? There's not much food in there. So this is what they were like before we started biological farming.
At around the same time, Rhonda was diagnosed with spinal meningitis, a life-threatening condition she firmly believes was the result of exposure to chemicals during her old farming ways.
We looked at the quality of the food we were eating, the chemicals we were using, and how everything we do in agriculture impacts human society.
It was a belief that I had as well, that I always wanted to live more with a natural system of farming. So it really sat well with me.
This led Rhonda and Bill to embrace biological farming, a system that allows the minimal use of chemicals but focuses on improving the health of soil through the application of organic fertilisers and compost. First developed in America, biological farming is about customising a remedy for any soil type. So what's the process?
The process is to identify what is going on in the soil. So we would do a soil test and you send it, put it in a bag and send it to the lab to be analysed. From there we can see what minerals are lacking or what's deficient in those soils. And then we would do a prescriptive blend to put onto that soil to make it living again, to get some tilth back in there and structure and air and food for the microbes again.
One of the key elements of biological farming is the use of humus compost, a nutrient-rich super compost that the Dailies are producing on a grand scale. This is the latest in compost turning technology. What's going on behind me is really quite fascinating. The machine is turning the compost in such a way that the whole pile is being turned from the inside to the outside. Now, imagine this is on an industrial scale. We're talking, in 1 year, this machine could produce 20,000 tonnes of golden humus. For the foundation of their compost, Rhonda and Bill take in green waste and various manures from farmers and gardeners in the neighbouring district. Like your compost at home, this process generates a lot of heat, but the high temperature does serve a purpose.
It's pretty important that you get it up to about 65, 70 degrees Celsius to kill all E. coli, salmonella and weed seeds.
All the nasties.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Have a dig in there. It's pretty hot at the minute. This is only 2 days old.
Oh, yeah. It's so hot in there. I reckon I could roast a chook in there.
I think you could, absolutely.
Just imagine that you can transform this into super rich humus in just 10 weeks. Something capable of breathing life into soil across the country. What a great system. Rhonda and Bill consult either by correspondence or in person. They analyse soils on properties ranging from broad-scale acreage right through to suburban backyards and can supply a customised compost mix which, once spread onto the earth, will breathe life back into even the most dilapidated of soils.
See, Costa, this is what we can achieve with biological farming. We've opened up the soil, we've made it fluffy again, we're building humus.
That's so cool in there. Wow, that's amazing. After the break, the Chinese secret to a long and healthy life. Are you 66?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. True.
You look about 40. And we unveil our revolutionary garden bed.
Hey, Costa, the water's coming.
Oh, fantastic. Young may be most famous for cherries, but look amongst the orchards here and you'll find that it's the humble honeybee that is putting this region on the international map.
Nice
Hello.
to meet you. Yeah.
How
hello.
are you?
Good. Thank
Great
you.
to meet you.
And then Jim.
Costa.
Costa. Hi.
Yeah.
Welcome to my farm.
You see, Jim Jing Bang Zhu is an apiarist who sells his bee-related health products to the world. So how many have you got here?
60 high.
60 hives?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Good.
Jim produces some honey, but his main focus is the production of propolis and royal jelly.
This one,
Yeah?
yellow. This one, propolis.
That's propolis.
This one is propolis trap.
Bees make propolis from plant resins, and they use it to seal, insulate and sterilise the hive.
Why is propolis important?
For health. Yeah, good. Very natural.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Propolis is claimed to be a natural antibiotic and immune system booster.
So this is medicine.
Yeah. Natural medicine.
Originally from Nanjing in China, Jim followed the footsteps of his father into beekeeping. Then 6 years ago, he made the move to Australia. You see, like many of the cherry growers here, Jim saw a unique opportunity presented by the climate and conditions in Young.
Jim, which is the best country in the world for propolis?
This plant, Australia, #1.
There are two main reasons why Jim believes Young is ideal for producing the best propolis possible: clean air and the humble gum tree.
Do you have a favourite eucalypt?
Here, have.
This one.
Yeah.
So ironbark is #1?
Yeah. Ironbark, yellow box, streambark.
Propolis is used the world over to treat a wide range of ailments. But for eternal youth, Jim believes that there is one regal product that's the key.
Queen bee. Queen bee no eat honey, no eating pollen, only eating royal jelly. So this queen bee long live 5 years. Bees only 2 months or 3 months.
The worker
die.
bees?
Yeah.
2 months, that's it?
2 months die. But the queen bee can 3 years or 5 years.
Wow.
Why? Because she eating only royal jelly. So royal jelly for people health, very good.
#1.
#1.
While royal jelly is generally only taken orally, propolis is considered a cure-all that can be applied externally to cuts or other injuries as well. Both come in a variety of preparations, such as capsules, powders and liquids, and should only be taken in small quantities.
The making of royal jelly is really quite an interesting process. See, what the beekeeper has to do is carefully place an egg in each one of these cups. They then place that back into the hive. And what happens is that the bees think, oh, this big cup, it must be a queen bee egg. So for 3 days, they pack the cups with the good stuff. Royal jelly.
Now I already 66 years old.
Are you 66?
Yeah.
No way.
Because every day eating bee product. Similar royal jelly, propolis, honey, bee pollen. Keep young.
The great thing about Jim's story is that by bringing a lifetime of experience and passion to Young, Jim is opening new doors of opportunity for the region, all made possible by the wondrous bee.
See you later, Jim.
See you.
It was great.
You remember, bees #1. Happy?
I'm happy.
Bye-bye.
Remember the Tembaleskis? They're our family of 7 for whom we're building the ultimate abundant and sustainable backyard. Last time we were here, it was demolition day. This week, I'm really pumped because I'm going to show you a revolutionary veggie bed that waters the plants from below.
We've got a really big day ahead of us here at the Backyard Revolution. Hello, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Now, look, today we're going to see some big changes. What we're going to do is start to build our garden beds. So instead of just demolition, we're actually going to do some construction. When you come home today, what you're going to find is 3 beds. The first one's going to go along here to about there. The second one like this, so a little bit of a zigzag step. And then the third one here. So when you come back from school today, there's going to be some big changes. Have a good day at school.
Yeah, thanks.
What's that? Ah, my hat.
Hard hat.
I'll put it on. I'm ready to work.
I've chosen these corrugated flat packs as the frame for my revolutionary garden bed design. They look great and are easy to install.
The beauty of these prefab garden beds is that all the hard work and cutting and drilling has been done for you. All that's left once they get to your place is to put 2 screws in each of the 4 corners and you're done. Well, that's it. 3 beds are put together. Now is the fun part. We're just going to play around with them, get them in the right position, and then start to set up our drainage.
Positioning your veggie beds correctly is crucial if you're to have a productive garden, especially since once they're full of soil, they aren't going anywhere.
This is the most critical part of the job, like to get these proportions right.
Well, but you're deciding, so if it's wrong, it's your fault, not mine.
You may as well bury me now.
Most veggies need full sun for at least 6 hours a day to grow successfully. However, I've carefully placed 1 bed in half shade for some special varieties that don't like getting belted in the afternoon heat.
What I've done is just mark out the perimeter of our beds. Then we've just got to excavate the grass from within the bed so that we can sit it down at the height that I want, because these beds are going to fall this way to what will ultimately be our low point.
With the frames in place, it's now time to show you why these wicking beds are at the cutting edge of water-smart gardening. Wicking beds water plants from below rather than above, filtering moisture through a network of absorption tanks and drainage sand to take water directly to the roots.
Now, this thing is an absorption tank, and it forms a big part of our wicking bed, because what it does is it sits on top of the drainage cell, and then it serves as literally a rainwater tank under our planting soil.
Wicking beds are basically like a big sand sponge. Water moves from the bottom of the sponge to the top and then wets the soil that the veggies are growing in.
The most important part of our wicking bed is our drainage sand. I've got a nice pile of washed river sand, and it's important when you get this on site to keep it clean and to make sure when it gets delivered not to have it mix up with your potting mix or your garden soil, because this is purely for drainage and you don't want organic matter mixed in there because it'll clog it up.
With the kids home from school, I've got some extra hands to help me work.
My team have done a great job filling the first planter box. They're busy filling the second one while I wonder level it off nice and even. Next step is to put our hose in here and fill it up. And I'll know when it's full because water will start coming out of our outlet. Let's go, Raph.
Hey, Costa, the water's coming.
Oh, fantastic. That shows that our design's working. The next critical part of our planter box is our selection of soil. In this case, I've gone with a very lightweight planter box mix for a specific reason. If we go with a heavy clay overloaded with organic material, that will tend to compact, which we don't want. By having extra sand in it, it will drain freely and then allow our wicking effect to take place. The water will draw up from the base, go to the root zone and feed our veggies. Crumbly, lightweight, perfect.
If you'd like any more information on how to build our revolutionary garden beds, then go to our website, www.sbs.com.au/Costa. Next week on Costa's Garden Odyssey, Australia's best Japanese garden.
Even if we bring this one to Japan, still A+.
A+.
Yeah.
Then how to build some Zen at your place.
And create here a Japanese fusion front yard. Hey!
And the essential veggie list for your family as we plant out our backyard revolution.
I'm mixing colours, textures, companions, and also insect repellents.